Is everybody able to see and hear me okay? You know, in the chat, while I just adjust my iPad to not turn off. Hooray! Preparation is everything. Yes, I know I need an update. I don't care. Display. Where's display? Oh. Those. Fuck. Never. Thank you very much. Sound of Vision or Ghost has backstepped. Excellent. Just going to give it a few minutes for other people to turn up. But hello to everyone who's here. Let's see who we've got so far. Well, I know we've got Reese, and we've got Dave, and we've got Smoo. Hey, Smoo. And we've got Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth. Glad you could make it. Who else do we have just coming back? Steps come in. Eric 200. Hello. Mike Mountain. Hey, Mike. John Bias. Hello, John. Hey, dudes. Get going in a minute. Just allowing people to arrive. How is everybody? How are you all doing today? I'm disturbingly warm today. It's strange for February. Global warming. Pfft. As long as I don't end up living in a mangrove swamp, I'm happy. Don't know, mangrove swamps. You see them on telly, and just the sight of it gives me, I don't know, it just gives me the willies. Two environments I really don't want to find myself in are right, a mangrove swamp or in a kelp field in the sea if I'm diving. Oh, I don't know, just see these kelp fields and it's all like growing up and it just looks ominous and scary. Give it a few minutes. How is everybody doing? More chat, more chat. Mike Mountain says, not bad, mate. Cheers, you. I'm fine, if warm. Backstepped. It's oddly warm here too, yeah. Raging Bassist. Hey, Raging Bassist. I have new comics and I'm putting them on hold to watch. Cool. Peachy says, the Wolf. Hey, the Wolf. Troughton Chard. Very tired. Early shifts. Hey, Troughton. Kenneth, it's 3 AM here. How are you, Fox? Holy crap, you really couldn't sleep, could you? Wow. 3 AM. Faisal says, hello. 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. That's American temperatures. We use proper temperatures over here. Philly's good. Thanks messing about with the heating all day, but now sorted and building a T62. Cool. The first model I ever made properly was a Tamiya T62. The first model I ever made properly and painted. My dad made me do it, so I blame all this on him. Mike Mountain, what's schmooing? Kenneth, hey Smoo, Workshop, how are you? Faisal says, thumbs up. Smoo says, not bad, just had the YouTube message, I can't be monetized because I ain't got 1,000 subs, not that it made a penny anyways. Yeah, it's the new, they changed the rules, saying you need like 100,000 views or something total, and then they changed it again after that absolute flipping moron did his Japanese suicide forest video, that mindless mouth-breathing chump is. Some idiot with stupid hair. And they changed it again to you've got to have 1,000 subscribers, which for people who were under 1,000, a bit of a struggle because they were previously monetized and now they're not. I think YouTube are holding the money though until you get 1,000 subscribers. So if you've got a YouTube channel, just get putting lots of content up. Do content all the time. That's the trick. Just lots of content. Answer every comment. Be nice to everybody. That's the trick. You'll soon get to 1,000. Mike Mountain, I've escaped the dungeon. Raging Bases, BSG versus BSG, Old Meats knew what will happen, been waiting a month for issue 2. Ooh, that sounds good. Smoo asks Dave if he's got his attack puffin ready. Am I wearing my origami hat? No, I put it down. Where is it? There it is. There's my little origami hat. I just ordered some decals, some Gundam decals, one sheet of Gundam decals from somebody on eBay, and it turns out they're in Japan. Turns out they managed to get it to me in about 3 days, which is damn impressive. Gave me that little origami hat. Sweet. Hello, I should draw a little hand and we'll put that over there. Afternoon, hey Joanna. Glad you could make it. Nice to see you. Right, should we get going? So, as always, I'll probably get bugger all done. You know how this goes. I have a great plan, and then I do nothing because I just talk to you guys. But that's not a problem because that's what makes it fun. Changed the camera angle a bit today, so it's looking downy job rather than looking that way job. And what I'm going to do, I need to build these guys for the E-models build anyway. And I've had these on my shelf for a while, and they just look awesome. These Tempestus Scions. So if we get time, I might start making on these as well. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it'll take too long. So I might get, assuming I actually get some work done. It probably won't. You know how it goes. Kenneth says, I've been watching Ted's 1/16th tank thing. I added one to my hobby shop cart. Just wondering if it's too lofty a goal, or would it be too hard for me to build? I don't think it would. It's not. I don't think, Kenneth, I don't think the build is particularly hard. If you're physically capable of gluing one thing to another thing, you're good to go. It's just it's more the part count of that kit. There's lots of small parts, but it's more the part count. There's like 1 million parts for the interior that you then cover up when you finish the tank. And it's kind of designed for if you want to do a cutaway build. So like you cut some holes in the sides, put red around the edge, and you can see inside. Or you can leave the turret off, however you want to display it. You don't have to build if you're not going to do that, you don't have to actually build the interior, but it does seem like good fun. I don't think it'd be too hard for you. If you can glue one thing to another thing, I think you'd be fine. It's certainly a very impressive kit. I've seen it in real life. I've seen Ted's kit in real life. It's like this big. It's massive. It's off the screen. It's so big it wouldn't fit on the screen. Smooth says, nice to see some more female model makers joining the hobby. Yep, I love the fact we're getting lots of ladies in the boom hut now. I love it. The more the better. This is an equal opportunities hobby. I don't care whether you're a man, a woman, black, white, French, German, Spanish, Japanese, Canadian, and it doesn't matter. I don't care who you are, where you're from. If you make models, you're all right in my book. And yes, we need to make this less of a... He says doing Warhammer, which is the most male-centric modelling genre there is. Yeah. The more women in this hobby, the better, because it's an awesome hobby, and it's not just the purview of beardy blokes in basements. It's a hobby for everybody. Let's have a look. Raging Basis says, okay, I'm taking bets on how long it takes before Fox stabs himself. I did it yesterday. I did a stabby there. It didn't bleed. It was one of those stabbies that was like that, and it wasn't actually through a vein, so it just stings like a bitch. But it doesn't bleed. Joanna Hammond is avoiding drilling tiny holes again. Yeah, you dived in with a Star Destroyer. Crazy fool. You crazy fool. I have to give you a thumbs up for that, though. Every time I speak, I'm looking at the camera. I don't know why. The microphone's over here. Idiot. I'm hoping one of the Space Marines has a little knife and Fox stabs himself on that. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm making a brew. Can I interest anyone in a tea, Yorkshire, coffee or hot chocolate? I've got my litre of coffee ready. I had to go and buy some coffee. I ran out of my dough eggbits. So I've got my coffee. Oh. That'll keep me going. I'm on a dough eggbits kick at the moment. Dough eggbits, pure gold, whatever it's called. Still. Coffee please, says Smooth. Tea please, Raging, says Taunton Chard. He's got Yorkshire tea, so he's doing it right. Frankie goes to Hobbywood. Hi Fox. Hi Frankie. Hey Fox, you ever tried some LED mods? I am allergic to lighting. I am not a technical person. I can cut things around. I can glue them together. I can even custom build some bits and bobs, but lighting? Nah. I have no concept of lighting at all. I'll get these stands out of here. It kind of scares me. Anything to do with electricity, I have no concept. I'm a complete loon. So I did put lighting in the Space 1999 Eagle, but that's because Chris, I think. I do forget who sent it to me. Was it Jeff? Chris. I forget who sent it. Somebody basically sent me an entire lighting kit for it pre-made, and I was like, brilliant, I just have to glue it in. So that was brilliant. But yeah, doing lighting, no. It's not something that... I kind of share the same mentality as if you've ever watched Dr. Faust's painting clinic where he builds the Enterprise A. He built all that and he did the lighting, and I think it was one of the first times he did lighting, and he was like, he wanted to learn it. And he said, but the thing is, I'll put it on my shelf, I'll put the light on and take some nice pictures, and then I'll turn the lights off, and then I'll never turn them on again. Kind of share the same viewpoint of, I'm never going to turn the light on anyway, so... Kenneth M, you make me shudder every time you stab the bags in your packages. Yeah, me as well. Tea, Earl Grey, tepid. Ew, Grey. No. Earl Grey's minging. Proper Yorkshire tea. Tetley's at best. Tetley's or Yorkshire, that's it. And I don't even drink tea, but even I know Tetley's and Yorkshire are the best. Josh Fran, trying to reverse wash for the first time and not going as planned. Ooh. It can be fiddly. Make sure your first coat goes down, your acrylic base coat goes down and it's had 24 hours to cure. Get a gloss coat on it. your pledge or whatever gloss coat you use. Make sure it's acrylic. Let that dry for 24 hours. Then, if you can, airbrush the enamel paint over the top, because then you get a nice fine coat. Leave that for maybe even, well, 12 hours maybe, something like that. And then if you can get yourself some, you can use normal cotton buds, but just dampen them in a little bit of enamel or oil paint thinners, or white spirit or terps, whatever you use. Just dampen them. Don't have them soaking, just dampen them. And then start to rub. If you can get the little cotton buds that have got points on the end, like the Tamiya ones, but not as expensive Tamiya ones, little pointy ones, they're a bit better. Or even a little sponge thing on a stick that you can make into a point and use that. That should make it easy. But you need to make sure everything's had time to cure. Ooh, lots of decals, and they're all white, so you can't see any of those. What's the chat doing? Let's have a look. Lighting is the easy bet, says Joanna. Yeah, just tedious. Yeah, when you've got 3 million fibre optics in your Star Destroyer. Smooth says, after doing that Contempt Dreadnought to Mike, he says, I'm dying to get started on my Rhino and Spec Marines, but I have so many kits on the go. I know. These are really addictive. They're not hard, they're dead simple, but they're really, really addictive. I need my Space Helmet of Seeing. Quite a few people have asked me about my Space Helmet of Seeing. It's just a cheap, crappy one that I got off Amazon like 6 years ago. Not got a funky light. It needs a wash. It doesn't half need a wash. I need to paint it. It's not got a funky light. It hasn't got more than this lens. It's just got that lens. It had a spinny lens that you can rotate round magnification, but it got on my nerves, so I ripped it off. There's no swappable lenses, no light. It's just dead basic, but it does me fine. I have got one with a light on the front, but I found that the batteries and the light in there just put too much weight on my head, and it was quite uncomfortable. I need to paint a shark mouth on that. Tony Black's in. Hey, Tony. I have peppermint. Somebody said peppermint tea. I have peppermint too, but that's for my anxiety mainly. Try green tea. Try proper Japanese green tea. It's delightful. Lighting is just a power source, a resistor, an LED, then some fibers. See, you're saying words in that sentence there, Joanna, that mean nothing to me and just make me sweat. Lighting is just a power source, a resistor, an LED, and then some fibers. That's like a car is just some metal, a bit of petrol, some rubber, and some wires. No, not to me. Making shiny things as I listen, Fox. Ooh, hey Scott. Install LEDs in parallel, never series. How about the flickering? Just talking about lighting now and electronics. Needs a Smooth Industries shark mouth, Fox. Yes. Well, the thing is, at some point, I do intend to go to my local Warhammer store and do some painting. Just sit there and do some painting with the guys there. And I'll need to take this with me, and I can't sit there with this scruffy piece of crap. I need to paint it, and I think definitely a Smooth Industries patented shark mouth will be required. I primed my Chaos Spec Maroon motorcycle yesterday. Cool. I drink oolong, and it's amazing. There's Evan. Hey, Evan. Cody. Hey, Cody says, I really want to put an LED in my Zaku, but it costs more for shipping than the parts do. If it's the pre-made Bandai one, they're really hard to get. Right, should we do some work? Yeah, right. Let's have a look who we've got first. Okay, first off, we have the dude with the flag. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the flag yet, because that requires a lot of painting fiddliness that I don't know if I can be bothered with. So we'll move on from him. That's one done. Okay, we've got a veteran with a Vox caster. The good thing is you've got choices of all the different art. And I love the fact that they totally don't number the parts. I mean, I know there's only 2 sprues, but, you know, could have numbered the parts. So we will need the legs. That's all arms and torso, so we don't need those. I'll just put these decals elsewhere for safety purposes. Right, we need some legs. Which legs do we need? Going to guess that these legs are those legs. Yes, I've decided. Yeah, good man, Fox Smooth Industries. It's the way forward. Yes. Hey, there's a product I saw the other day on Gunpla TV. There's some like little sort of workbox they've got, like a little toolbox for model makers. It's a little plastic box, and it's just basically a box that you can put your tools in. But the funny thing was, there's a little square bit in the corner with an openable lid, and it's precisely for Tamiya extra thin bottles of glue. It's just like the Smooth Industries one, but with less tat content, so it's not any good. Fox, you should just build one figure but put all the arms and weapons on it, lol, says Trot and Chard. I think there's actually a Warhammer figure with like loads of arms. Newer GW kits are numbered, says Kenneth. Yes, they are. This is one of the older ones. And it's only 2 sprues, and there's only like 5 dudes, so I don't think they particularly need to. Although I have seen kits where you get the entire vehicle. I think when I do my... what to make now? I think it's either my Valkyrie or my Wyvern or Hydra. I've got Hydra as well. I think one of those, the whole vehicle, has no numbered parts. I'm hoping it's not the Valkyrie, because seriously. We need an torso. How do the torsos look? They all look exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other captain. So, and torso. Try and do this on camera as best I can. I'll try not to get my head in shot every 2 minutes. Thought I'd try the overhead camera angle today, so let me just see where my head goes. Oh no, the head's there. That's cool. I might knock the camera, but I don't think I'll get my head in shot. We need an arm, which is being raised up. Is it on this sprue? No. Let's have a look and see. Where is my Voxcaster arm? It's this one. He's doing that Gears of War thing of putting his finger to his ear, which means he's on the radio and he has to walk half as fast. Because apparently that's how radios work. Even if you don't have the thing in your ear, you still have to put your finger to your ear and then you walk half as fast. So that's how radios work in armies. You need Anne Bunce. Okay, this guy's got a mouth like Cubit or Birdo. I don't know if it won't come out camera at all, but guy here, you can't see it, it's not in focus, but there's a guy here with a mouth and he looks like Birdo. I don't think a human mouth can make that shape. Perfect circle. Somehow, I don't. Just like Birdo, it's kind of disturbing. Where's the Voxcaster's bombs? Where are you? Ah, there we go. And with the big honking grill on his face. Gotta tell you, I really like these Citadel nippers. I don't like the fact they're 20 quid, but I really like them. 20 quid. Pfft. I had to get something because my Tamir ones were falling apart. Or getting a bit old and dull. I just happened to be in the Warhammer store anyway, so I'm like, go on then. I need them today. I can't wait a couple of days to get them, so I'll spend that money. Now we have a weapon with a shoulder strap. A weapon with a shoulder strap, and he's got it over his shoulder. And it's this one here. Dude, let's cut it off the sprue and see what we can. Wow, I just need to. Okay, so that's there. He needs a knife and gun. And knife and gun in an holster. Gun in an holster. And knife. There are the combat knives. That's not enough. Yeah, there are 10 knives. Put off. Okay, we have all the bits for one man. Let's see what the chat is doing. Rusting Customs is in. Hey, Rusting Customs. Right, I missed quite a lot of chat. Do the flag, says Raging Bassist. I might do. It's painting the text on it. I can't paint the text on it, but we'll see. Voxcaster equals Radio Man. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Smoo says Scott Sutherland is doing well with his Smoo Industries Puffin relocation program. Although Dave Weislerum Gombarka, Puffin is a wimp. It's not pip proof. Yeah, you kind of need a kind of armored Puffin for Dave. Eric 200 says search for Steezy Gunplay has a tutorial on making a custom LED unit. I think he does, yes. He does indeed. Still talking about lighting in there, so I can't get involved in that one. How long do you think the Warhammer kick is going to last, says Hobbicus Maximus? I don't know. I don't work on a schedule. as long as I'm interested in something, I'll build those kind of kits. As soon as I start to flag a little bit, I jump off those and go on to something else until the desire to go back to those comes back again, which is why I stopped doing Gunpla for a little bit to do these, because I was getting burnt out a bit on the Gunpla, and I thought I'll just step to one side just for a little bit, wait for the mojo to come back. And I've got that Strike Rouge Uotori and the Uotori backpack, so that'll be the next one after the E-Models one. I don't think I'll ever go off Warhammer because it's such great fun. Plus, it's the first time I've actually been able to paint figures, which is awesome. So, let's have a look. What else is chat doing? Are you going to put one of those flags on the armoured car, Fox? Ooh, I've not thought of that. Here's the armoured car so far. I have customed up that big-ass gun. The turret. Let's have a look. Now, this won't stay in place, but I have got a couple of dudes. I've got my commander. We'll go in this turret here. I can't get him in there now because he's got some plastic on the bottom, but he'll go in that side, and the gunner will go on this side. I've got some doohickeys and dealies to glue all over this, like jerry cans and that. I've got a whole load of bits and things to glue on. They need to go on. And I'm going to see if I can put a big ass dozer blade on the front because of the reasons. I might do. And as the camera's on, I've obviously got a runny nose. Smooth's workshop, you would need to ask our resident ornithology department. Oh, Kenneth says, is the SIPRP, the Smoo Industries Puffin Relocation Program, planning on relocating internationally? Yes, can we send a puffin to the Australias? Post it upside down. Put it in the box upside down. Just remember holes in for the air. Did you switch your mat to white because the green was messing up your colours, says Cody Pedigo. Yes, I did. I film on an iPhone 5. This is a webcam now, but I normally film on an iPhone 5S. And I got myself an iPhone 6S. And the software in the iPhone 6S is different. It handles exposure and brightness and colour differently. And it was a right pain in the bum. Because with the green placemat and the iPhone 5, I was able to get a good colour balance and exposure. With the iPhone 6, I was having to adjust it all the time, and it was a right pain in the bum. And I've got a piece of white card here that you guys can't see, and that allowed me to get some light on what I was doing. And then I had this brainwave of, why don't I just try not a green cutting board? So I got these grey ones, kind of like a very light green-grey. And it has improved things massively, with the whiteboard here to reflect light, and this to not throw out the colour balance. Excuse me. It's actually made a big difference. So yeah, so it has made a big difference. I don't think I'll go back to green cutting mats again. They just throw the white, they kind of throw the colour balance and the white balance out, so that when you do get everything kind of the right colour you want it, because of the green, it throws it out and everything either really dark or really overexposed. So it was a pain. Hey Colin, who says, drink, girls. Smooth says, go on. Joanna Hammond says, Citadel sprue cutters. Yes, they're really nice. They're just 20 quid. So, yeah. The Tamiya ones are also really nice, and they're not 20 quid. But they're old and dull now, and they're not doing their job anymore. Because I was in the shop, and I thought, I need some now. So, the only thing is they're not like these, which are kind of easy to hold. They're a bit wide. They're all metal, and they're really nice. They're just a bit springy. But I like them. They're all right. They're nice and clean. They do make a nice clean cut. They're not exactly God hand nippers, but they're good enough. Josh Francisco, I tried using lacquer base with acrylic top and tried lighter fluid to do the reverse wash. The top coat is stubborn and doesn't come off easily. I've tried to okay. What's the paint you're trying to rub off? Is it lacquer or acrylic or enamel? Basically, if you're doing a reverse wash, you can do whatever colour you want underneath as the base colour. Put a gloss coat over it that won't react with the thinners for taking the paint off. So an acrylic one is fine if you're going to use enamels or oil paints for the stuff you're going to rub off. Then you paint on the colour you want to rub off. That needs to be an enamel, ideally, because You could use an oil paint, but they're not great to spray. So you want to use an enamel because that comes off easily with enamel thinners or lighter fluid or whatever. Lighter fluid's a mineral spirit. It won't work on acrylics or lacquer paints. So you don't say in your comment what you sprayed over, but it needs to be an enamel. Really, if you're going to use, it's just one of the best ones to use. Acrylics, you can't get them off easily. Lacquers, it's impossible to remove. They're really hard to remove. So if you've used an enamel, it may just be perhaps, I don't know why it's not working. The top coat is stubborn. When you say an acrylic top, I don't know if you mean a top coat like a gloss or the top coat like the paint. If it's the paint, that's why it's not coming off, because it's acrylic. Lighter fluid won't affect acrylic. So you need to use an enamel paint. So what you might need to do, if you've done that, you might need to strip that part back, get your base coat down again, get a gloss over it, and then go over with an enamel colour. Like if you're doing, say you were doing the cuffs on a Kshatriya, you'd paint it all white, so either acrylic or lacquer or whatever you want to use. Paint it all white, then you gloss varnish it on the cuff, and then you spray over that with enamel black. And then what you do is you get your lighter fluid or what have you on the little sponge or the cotton bud, and you rub away the enamel on the raised detail, and that's how you get the white raised detail with the black background. The enamel in the recesses stays there, but you can't rub acrylics off. Don't do it with acrylics. Rustin Custom says the Warhammer kick will last 6 episodes. Whoa, see what you did there. Never going to leave me that. Is it going to follow me for everywhere? 5 minutes ban for Mr. Fox for the G word. Did I say G? I was asked a question. I have to say it. I like to have a Warhammer figure on my table just to paint while I'm waiting for the other stuff, says Kenneth. When I got those Vallejo paints, I did this, dude. I just did a quick test. And he's a bit messy. And I'm not sure if I like the Vallejo paints as much as, say, the Citadel paints, but they're alright. Certainly a different way of painting. He's a bit badly painted, but yeah, he's like the most confused Space Marine ever. He's like, I like gold, I like blue, and I've got cream, and oh. So, yeah. Heck, Fox, what are you doing during daylight? I'm trying to cook for 50 teenagers here, and you're going live. Well, the teenagers, just give them a microwave meal. If you're cooking for 50 teenagers, that means you have to like make 4 times as much food. Because, you know, teenagers. Supper might be late tonight, says Tim. Kenneth says, I got a new air compressor a couple of days ago. My case manager bought me a 256 gig iPhone X. Wow. Wow, that's just, wow. Hello, that's more memory than you'll ever need, and it's a top-of-the-range phone. Good effort. I like that. You've got basically a better phone than all of us. Especially a very good camera on that. You could, wow. Black Wolf's in, hey, hold your fires in, hey. Kenneth says he likes his God Hand nippers a lot and recommends them to all. Yes, I will get some at some point, but the last time I looked, they were 35 quid plus 35 quid shipping. I'm not spending 70 quid on a pair of nippers. 20 quid is bad enough. Stephen Whittingham, hi folks, he's in, hello. Wow, chat's moving fast. Raging bassist, it will always be 6 steps behind you, Fox. Yes. John Francisco says, the coat I'm trying to remove is acrylic. I think that's my problem. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, it needs to be enamel. That's the trick. Dave says, sorry, missed the start. Was sticking spuds in the oven. Fox, your audio seems very low. Are you using a new setup? No. I can turn the microphone up. Is the volume quite low for everybody, or is it? Have I not got my gain up? Blah, blah. Let me do a test. Blah, blah, blah. I can turn the gain up a bit. Blah, 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 blah. Is that better? How's that sound? Is that sounding better? I've increased the volumes a little bit for you. I might have the microphone a bit further away than normal. I can't really move it, though, because it's kind of jammed in place. Let me know if that sounds a bit better. Black Wolf 340. Do you have any tips or tools that you would use to show heavy battle damage? Yeah, it's actually dead easy. Even if it's a vehicle or anything like that. Okay, you're all saying the audio's fine now, or better. Cool, I've turned it up a little bit. I think it's further away than it normally is because I've got the iPad there resting on the microphone, so yeah. Yes, battle damage. There's multiple ways you can do it. If you go to your local little art store or hobby store, you can get yourself a little either Dremel or little tiny handheld drill. They're just little like drill jobs with like selections of bits. You can use those to put in like dimples and craters and pits, and you can skitter it across the surface to get like ricochet marks. You can do it with your craft knife. If it's on a corner and edge, you can gouge that into the edge and make little cracks and dimples. You can use it to gouge little dimples out as well, but it's a bit more tricky. You can use a pin to heat up a pin and put it in the plastic and make a little hole and move it around a little widen the hole. You get like a bullet hole. You can use the same with a screwdriver or any metal implement. You can heat it up and jam it in. I've got some sculpting tools. I'm trying to find them now. That I got from my local pound shop. And again, they're just metal, so you can heat them up and jam them onto the plastic. It's just really either using a drill of some sort, and you can use a, like I say, a little Dremel, or a bigger Dremel, but make sure it goes you don't want to go too fast. It needs to have a slow speed on it so it doesn't melt the plastic. Or just anything that can scrape or gouge or eat into the plastic. And just have fun with it. It's good times with a little Dremel because you just kind of go and you make loads of bullet holes. It's great. Speaking of Dremels, I have a Dremel 4000 kit turning up tomorrow. Was bought as a gift. Kick ass, says Joanna. Kick ass. Okay, so I've taken some stuff off the sprue, and we've been here for what, about an hour and 3/4, 2 hours or something. Let's crack on, shall we? So now I have to get down low now, so I might go even quieter. Let's clean some bits up. This is where you get to watch me with the knife now. Panic because I stabbed myself in the entire body. I won't. I bet you. I bet you money. I bet you 2p that I don't stab myself. There's a guarantee that I'll stab myself now. Guarantee for you. If I stab myself now, I'll just be not happy. Off. That needs to be on there. That needs to be on. I've started using files over the last few days. I don't normally use files, but I started using them over the last few days. Just for small things. Want the nice flat surface. Bit of sanding on that bit there. I think that's like a nub that's supposed to be there. Thank you, Fox, says Black Wolf. How do you keep the damage to scale? Is it just by eye and feel? Yeah, pretty much. It depends what kind of damage you're trying to recreate, or recreate even. If you're doing like little tiny bullet holes, start with a pin, a hot pin, and make a little hole, and then build it out from there. When I'm doing paint chipping, like just painting on paint chipping, I always go off the assumption of how big is a person's head or how big is a person's hand on this model. Take it from there. I mean, I've never seen a bullet hole, but I assume they're kind of like that big, maybe, with some cratering around it. They're not that big, unless it's an exit hole, in which case it might be bigger. If it's just scratches and scrapes and dings, like your vehicle's a bit battered up, just kind of keep it subtle. Less is more. You can always do more battle damage if it's not quite, intense enough. But if you do too much, you're a bit screwed. So I would just say, keep it subtle, get it primed, and then see how it looks with primer over it, because then you'll get a better idea how it looks when it's painted. And if you think it needs more, give it more. And if you don't think it needs more, leave it as it is. It's entirely up to you, because you're telling the story of your build. So you are the storyteller. I'm a storyteller, and a story I will tell. Good God, that takes me back. What else do we take off? The nubbage. Or the nubbage. Seam line. We've got a seam line on here. Do I need to take a seam line off? I think so. A trusty seam line removal tool. Nub on that nub there, isn't it? Yeah. Check back in with the chat in a second. was doing lots of cleaning up and sanding like this yesterday, actually. And it's strange how sometimes you can barrel through it. And sometimes you just seem to spend ages doing it and it takes forever. Okay. Good. Seam line side. Get rid of it. This little seam line. Get away. Yeah. Das ist richtig. What's the chat doing? Scraping, scraping, scraping. Where's the middle of the screen? There's the middle. I did put a little marker here on where the middle of the screen is. I'm sitting down here doing it. My apologies, folks. Excuse me. This may not be very exciting, by the way, folks. It's just kind of sounding. At this rate, I might get one dude done. What's chat doing? Hey, somebody's got a birthday? Whose birthday is it? Evan Adorn says, no stabby stabs on my birthday, please. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to... I can sing that now because it's not copyright anymore. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Evan. Happy birthday to you. Didn't say I could sing it well, but I could sing it. Yeah, it's not copyright that anymore, so you can sing it now. Yeah, well done. Congratulations. Wait, why did I say well done? Well done on having a birthday. Where's the middle? There's the middle. How many of you are squirming right now as I'm doing this? You're all going, oh, he's going to stab himself. Oh. Most of the time, I've kind of learned how to anchor one thumb on the other and use my fingernails as buffers to stop things going into my hand. And I find if I really grip the blade quite hard, I can control exactly where it goes. So I've managed to, most of the time, not actually stab the crap out of myself. However, that's not every time. Whenever I do stab myself, it's generally because something slips. And it's like, oh, no. Sadness. Feet's done. No stabby stabby hurts. My Puffin Erland says he's enjoying watching the Puffin Overlord at work. Oh, which reminds me. Yeah. So Odo says hi. They call him Dodo then. Odo says hi. I'll have him over somewhere. I'll put him over there to the side because he can't fit on the desk. Odo is watching. Odo says hello. Everybody's saying happy birthday to Evan. How many figures in that set? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 figure set. Captain and flag dude. There's a guy with a... I'm not sure what that is. It might be a plasma rifle, plasma gun of some sort, I think. There's a Vox dude and there's a medic with a roll of bandages that looks more like a... I don't know. Looks like a kebab. Do something with that. I was going to do my Tempestus Scions as well if we get time, but I suspect we won't because I'm talking too much. Thorfinn the Puffin says hello, says Scott. Hey, Thorfinn. Wow, hello. Whoa. Massive blam of comments then. What's the story, Wishbone? What's this you're dreaming of? Such big imagination on such little pup. I don't get the reference there. Raging Base says, I was watching a movie the other day that it's one of those things that help define me. No one else has heard of it. Anyone seen Flight of Dragons? No, not heard of that. Moo says, I've heard Star Rise has issues with primer freezing when being left in cold during delivery. It totally wastes the paint. Possible. Bad things can happen when your paint gets frozen. I wish some other YouTube users would think of putting a mark in the centre of their screen. Great idea. My dad used to be a cameraman, so I know all about like cue points and stuff. Unfortunately, I know to put it there. I just keep forgetting it's there, and then I'm over here making something, and you guys are like, I can't see anything. Best of 6-7 workshop model making guru worse than our singing happy birthday to Beaker. Yeah, I can actually sing a little bit, but I like to make it silly as possible. I found a great way of polishing cars, says Dave Weiser-Barker. The cotton wool makeup removal pads buff up to me at X7, a treat. Yeah, I've got those for my C1 metalizer. And yet you still stab yourself, says Raging Bassist. I do. I don't ever stab myself, apart from yesterday when I stabbed myself. Smooth says, contact Steinal Res or your supplier, they may replace it. Yeah, they probably will. Most companies now are fairly good at replacing stuff that's no use to anybody. Right, where's me? There it is. Right, little fella, let's get your seam line removed. I do love this seam line removal tool. It's so awesome. Obviously, it works best on the Games Workshop plastics. It works good on any plastic. Gently shave it away. I tell you, the weather's been rather nice considering it's February. Kind of pleasant outside. And we really haven't had any snow at all. No. Goodness knows what's happening. I don't actually know how many of these guys I'll actually have in this build. I might only have like 1 or 2. I haven't decided yet. Seam line. Yeah, it's... Tim Bick says, BBC ITV or film company Fox. I used to work for Granada TV for about 30 years. I used to work at Granada. Worked on many things. Worked on Coronation Street for like a million years. Did loads of other stuff. Up until about 1985 he worked there. Then he went, I think he retired or medically retired or left anyway and went freelance for a bit. Doing the weddings and worked for Channel 4 for a little while, filming Brookside. No, he's been doing it for a long time. He started doing filming stuff in the 50s. If you're in the UK, if you Google there's the National Film Archive, I think it's called. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, there's a film from the late 50s, early 60s called Engine Men. And it was made by a group of creatives called Unit 42, I think they were called. Unit 57, 47, 42, Unit something, Unit 42. And it was my dad and a few other guys who made this film. Proper old black and white, mechanical camera job. And it was just documenting the sort of the death of the culture of the men that worked on the trains as steam was on its way out, being replaced by electric trains. That's in the National Archive now, that. And he's even on Wikipedia. My dad. Yeah. No, he's been doing it for years. One's got nominated for a BAFTA. Didn't win. He worked on a series called First Among Equals, which was in the 80s, was like a Jeffrey Archer political wrangling type novel that they made into a small series. He got nominated as lead cameraman on that. I think, if I remember rightly, he lost to The Diary of a She-Devil or something like that, which was frankly pap. I think it had boobs in it, so that's probably why the judges liked it. We've got a little BAFTA trophy downstairs. Give him pride of place. Right, so far I've cut some things off sprues and I've spanded 2 parts. Fantastic. Coffee. Is that the Games Workshop seam removal tool? Yes, and it's fantastic. Of all their tools, this is 20 quid. It's not worth 20 quid, but they're very good. I've got this thing, which is actually really good, and it's a £5. That's worth that. These are the only two tools that are actually worth it. The money you pay for it. That's not cheap, but it's worth it. It really is. Because if you scrape the seam lines off and stuff with a knife blade, they work. It can just give you a bit of a rough surface, and the blade flexes. Look at that. I'm not stabbed myself. The blade flexes, and it can skitter across the surface. This thing's quite thick, so when you seam remove, it's nice and flat. And what I've noticed is, if you've got, say, a flat surface, anything I can do it on. I'm not going to do it, but let's say I had find something I can do. Let's say I had this flat surface here, and I wanted to like just get a seam line off it or get a nub off it, and I got a little bit of nub left. If I did it with the knife, the blade would skitter, and it might give me an uneven surface. It might give me a slightly patchy surface, and it might actually not give me a flat surface. Because this thing is solid, you can just kind of go, and it will give you a nice flat surface with no scrape marks in it. So just give it a light sand once you've done it, and you get this perfectly smooth flat surface. I adore this tool. That is more than worth it. If you paint miniature figures, that is only a £5. That's worth it. I've also got the pin vise, because my pin vise broke, and again I was in the store and needed one. And that's really quite nice. It's nice and spinny. Again, it's vastly overpriced though, so there you go. I thought you guys singing Happy Birthday was really good, says Reese. That's because I wasn't singing it, so. I've contacted Ammo and they said they will replace it, but wanted to make sure that I had a valid reason for the primer coming out of my airbrush so spotty. Yeah, it could have just been affected by the cold. Tim Bick says, right, peri peri chicken to cook. Oh, love that. Thanks for coming in, Tim. The Earl D, you haven't sent me an email with your name and address for the mug, which is here. Here, you won this on the live stream. You need to send me an email, modelmakingguru@gmail.com. I'm glad you came in, because I can tell you that now. Modelmakingguru@gmail.com. I need your name and address so I can mail it to you. Haha. You thought you might get away with not winning it because you were like, I don't want that. No, you need to have it. The Wolf, I'm so proud I got the seam tool and made sprue glue from Foxx. Wait, what? Oh, right, I see what you mean. Yes, sprue glue, yeah. Yeah, this is a really good tool. Now when I've got like a surface, the other thing is, especially with some kits, if you've got, say I had a surface here and there was a little nub, so this bit here was the surface I wanted to get, and there's a little nub and I'd shaved it down, there's a little tiny bit left, I could sand it, but it's actually faster to get this and just do that, and you get the whole surface. You get rid of the nub and the whole surface is now smooth. I'll do it on camera. The whole surface is now smooth, and you can sand it. It just gives you a nice flat level surface, and you can do a whole panel. It's a lot faster than doing it with your knife. Can't say I've heard of it, the Earl D. Evan Adorn says, I'm doing my first live demo for Gumpler Weathering next month. Any tips or hints you have? What, online on a video, or just in front of actual people with breathing and talking and sweating? I've never done a live demo, actually in person with people talking and breathing and sweating. I did make inquiries at my local Warhammer store for maybe doing some little painting classes, but I've not heard back yet. Might not happen. But doing it live on camera, just do what I do. Just talk rubbish for 2 hours and maybe do a little bit of work while you're doing it. The one piece of advice I always give people, whether they want to do live demonstrations or video demonstrations like this, live streams, or even just doing videos like I do, is forget there's a camera there, forget there's a microphone, forget there's people online watching it, and just pretend you're sitting there. The best way I found to teach someone something or to teach people something anonymously like this, remotely, is to pretend that your best mate is sat next to you, and you're teaching your best mate how to do what you do. So just pretend they're there, pretend that's the person you're talking to. You're not talking to hundreds of people on the internet or the people in front of you. Just talking to your best mate who's sat next to you and is keen to learn what you do. And that way you'll kind of develop a natural way of speaking, hopefully. You'll get a kind of natural flow of speaking, and in my case you'll just talk at top speed and talk rubbish for 2 hours. In terms of speaking to live people, I've never actually done that. I can imagine that'd be quite nerve-wracking, but I think you'll be fine. I say I've asked at my local Warhammer store, but I've not heard back yet. So, also, what I would do is try and do stuff in the demonstration that you know you can do while you're not paying attention. Like, I'm doing this because I know I can cut something off a sprue and sand it, glue a dude together. I wouldn't sit here. You know, I might do these kind of live streams and do decals, or I might do paint chipping, because I know I can kind of not pay attention to what I'm doing. I wouldn't sit here and try and paint a figure, because I need to have my attention focused on the figure and not be distracted. And also I need to just get my head right close to it and paint it. So do have a think about what you're actually going to do, especially if it's live in front of people breathing and farting and speaking. Have a think about what you're going to do. And make sure it's stuff that you can do easily without you know, thinking too much. And the other thing is, of course, if you're speaking to someone who doesn't know how to do what you do, sometimes if you do something really that you think's really simple, they might think it's the most advanced thing ever and be really impressed. So even just like airbrushing a colour onto, you know, if I had a figure and I airbrushed it green, I think I'm just airbrushing it green, but somebody else might be like, wow, I can't do that, that's amazing, brilliant. So don't underestimate your abilities. Just pretend you're talking to your best mate. Dave says, oh, hello. I've had your address. Thank you, Duncan. No, I don't want to put it on screen, you fool. I think I might have just accidentally archived it. Can you send it me again, please? I pressed the wrong button. I think the email just got archived. I'll have a look in a bit. Oh no, it's on my phone anyway. Send it again just in case. Yes, I'll send you the mug. I need to get a little box for it. I'll get the mug sent out. I still need to send Sergeant Bones his sticker as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, Dave the Wise the Rum Gone Barker says, my dad was on telly, Fox. Crime Watch. Yeah. Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Don't have nightmares and ignore that man behind you with a club. It's unseemly. What's unseemly? Life and Times of a She-Devil, that's it. Life and Loves of a She-Devil, yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I remember it not being very good. It had boobs in it, so. Reese says, Fox, that's a big mug. This actually holds a litre. I know, because my flask holds a litre, and I've transferred a litre from my flask to this. It's a goodly amount of coffee. There are times when I can get through 2 of these a day. And other times, when I knock the camera. Other times when I don't drink much coffee at all. Wow, I'm surprised the mirrors are still on the car, says Kenneth. Yeah, that's because I haven't handled it much. Yeah, you wait. Quality tat for a prize, Fox. PMSL. Yes, it is. Quality tat. I've had this cup since, well, at least 1997 when I bought it at Tesco's for like £1.99. It was one of those, I remember it being on the shelf at the end of the row. And I'm like, I'm having that. So yeah. Yeah, that's been claimed. That will be going off. There we go. He sent it again. I'll try not. I'm just trying to swipe it off the screen. There we go. I was trying to swipe it off the screen and press the wrong thing. So there you go, Duncan. That's yours. That'll be on its way. What I might do, actually. And Sergeant Bones, if you're watching this as well, I've got some model making guru stickers on the way. Chris from Gross Models has been able to get me a load of stickers printed up. So what I might do is wait till they arrive, hopefully in the next few days, and actually get it sent out one of those stickers as well. So yeah, we'll get that sticker in there as well for you. And I will be giving some stickers away in a bit. So yay! G-word, Fox, naughty step. Did I say it again? I didn't even know I say it now. Rat Pack 30 says, remember the Boom Hut Discord for those that use Discord. Did I not post up I was going to do this in Discord? Oops, my apologies. Smooth says I don't use Discord. You should go on. You should go on, Smooth. It's a good laugh. It's a really nice group of folks on there. It's like a live. It's like the Boom Hut one. It's just like live chat basically. Really nice people. Police 5 with Shaw Taylor. Keep them peeled. Is it possible to do scratches and paint chipping in white paint and the base metal would be a gold? I've been trying to make a gold base metal that got painted over with white, but not sure if okay. Yeah. Basically, when you're thinking of chipping, think of the story of your vehicle. If it's made of gold and then somebody paints over it white, then when that white paint chips off, it will show gold underneath. So you can chip with whatever you want. I mean, some colours work and some don't. But yeah, if your vehicle has a backstory in your mind that it was gold and then painted in white, you could do that. Or maybe even in your backstory, it was like bare metal and then it was painted in black primer and then it was painted in gold and then it was painted in white. Then you could have chips of all three colours, black, golden, and white. You can do whatever you want. With model making, you can do whatever you want. And you don't have to, but if you feel you should, you can always have a backstory in your mind. System. Helps with weathering. Oh my god, Fox, where can I get a mug of such size, says Reese. I don't know, because I got that from Tesco's as well, probably about the same time I got my my Jurassic Park one. It's got Batman on it, so you can't go wrong with Batman. Oh. Amazon is full of hundreds of 1 litre plus mugs. Speaking of Chris Gross Models, I uploaded that animation to the Boom Hut. Yeah, that was great, that. Boom says, go on, go on, go on. Rat Pack 30, one question to you, Fox, before I do any upload. Is it okay if I use your logo? It is copyrighted, so drop me a message on Facebook or an email so I can let me know what you want to do with it. I like anything with a logo, I have to be careful because it's a copyrighted logo and well, not trademark. I'm not that good. But yeah, let me know what you need to do with it. Spandau Ballet Gold, says Smoo. Right, I should do some more work. Okay, now we have the torso. I'll let the chat pile up for a little bit. Potential stabby time. Stab, 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 stabbing. Stabbing all the flesh away. Not. And the armpit. Yes, it may sound weird for me to say don't just go ahead and use my logo, but obviously, and I'm no big shot or anything, but anybody with any kind of brand, kind of be careful how it gets used. Nub on this one. Big nubs. I actually found someone on Cafe. Don't know what. It's telling me something again. 1 second. Need to make sure it's not telling me the stream's down and not restarting or anything. Let me see what the computer's telling me. 2 messages. Oh. Can you guys still see me? Am I still live? Hang on. Oh, still live. Wow, that typed it really badly. Okay, no, my computer decided to go. Got me a little pop-up saying, oh, you've lost connection. Oh, no, you've gained connection. Irony would have been if I had actually stabbed myself at that exact moment. Nothing like that is going to happen. Can't really file in there because they're kind of concave. So I'll just have to scrabble with the knife. I don't know if you missed anything when I was talking then. Basically, yes, someone was trying to use my logo to sell t-shirts, and I had to stop to that. There was a legal letter, and that was nipped in the bud quite quickly. Raging Bases. What happened? I leave to make another brew and it falls apart. Bloody typical. Yes, because you weren't there. Smooth says, I like big numbers and I cannot lie. Some other brothers will deny. Davey UK says, hello, Fox. Hey, Davey. Big Nub, says Reese. I haven't got big nubs, it's just the way I walk. Earth to Fox, come in, Fox. Calling Awesome. Cleaning up concave bits can be vexing. Yes. It's really frustrating. 95% of the time, Games Workshop are very good about where they put their gates when they make the sprues. But just every now and then, you'll get a sprue that connects in the most awkward place imaginable. It's like, oh, really? Seriously? Do that to me. Oh, here's a question for you guys, by the way, if anyone knows. How do you get plastic residue out of a metal file? I've got no idea how to get it out. It's a bit old, this file. I don't really want to buy new ones, but a bit rusty, actually. How do you get plastic residue that's gunking up a file out of the actual file? Any ideas? Let me know. Can we win one of the lovely shiny pretty stickers? Yes, I'm going to give some away in a bit. I haven't got them yet. I'm waiting for Chris to send them to me, but what I'll do is I'll take a note of who wins, and then I will get you to send me an email, and then as soon as they arrive, in the next few days, most likely, I will send them out to you. Well, the first thing I'll do is go and buy a shed load of envelopes. Yeah. And then I'll send them out to you. I haven't really planned what I'm going to do with them. Chris was like, hey, the place across the road from me can do stickers. Do you want something with this much? I'm like, yeah. Why not? Well, no, I didn't do. I didn't take the seam line off his, or so. Try using an old toothbrush. Yeah, I tried it. It's proper wedged in plastic. I'll give it another go. Tap on something hard like the wall outside. Yeah, it's something called Cyber Clean. It's like goo that you just squish into it. Sprues on my Balrog wings were a nightmare. Part of the tree went into the wings, but I told time and you can't tell. Yeah, I've had a few. The sprues on this thing, when Tony did his tank, his Charger or Challenger, whatever it was, that one he's doing, he had the problem of massive gates, like huge gates on tiny parts. When I did it, I didn't have that problem, but there were a few bits where you'd have like a panel, like say this was a panel, and the sprue would go up to there, and the gate would actually go onto the part, encroach onto it, and it's like, why? Just go have it go up to it. And it was always in places where you didn't need to do that. So I didn't have the big nubs problem, but I had the why does that nub go actually onto the part? 1 second. Use a brass brush, says Kenneth. Fire maybe, says Mitch. Yeah, I tried some heat on it last night. I only burned my finger. Got some space. I burnt my finger. I didn't stab my finger, but I did burn my finger. It's several years of plastic kind of compounded in, so yeah. I think we're going to be lucky to get like one dude done here, guys, gals. Be another epic lack of getting anything done streams. Well, I don't mind because I'm doing it really to hang out with you guys. Really, don't actually expect to get anything done during these streams. What's his chat doing? Every time I hear someone say Chris, it says Chris the Pyro, I look around and really confused, like what did I do expression on my face. I think people who are called Chris should always just accept that somebody's going to blame them for something. My experience of Chris's is it's usually their fault. I've used a lighter to unblock the Revell needle on the glue. Yeah, I've done that before. I had some schmutz on the end of my tweezers. Super glue or something, so I just got that off with a lighter. I've got more now. Bit there. To the nub on the grip. I do love these figures though. I've always been so like not wanting to paint figures until oh, there's a nub there. Until I actually tried a Warhammer figure, and they're just so beautifully sculpted. Absolutely beautifully sculpted. Some of the old ones are a bit ropey, but the new ones over the last few years, absolutely gorgeous. You can't help but want to paint them. Ooh, sniffles, excuse me. I think these streams should be called the waffle sessions. Yeah. Fruit waffles. I I don't really do them with the expectation of actually getting much done. Feel free to ask any questions in chat, by the way. Gives me something to talk about. Not that I actually need much help with that, but yeah. Difficulty is, of course, while I'm actually doing stuff, I'm not looking at chat, so I've got to try and think of something to talk about. I waffle on about inane nonsense. Okay, so that's there. Little bit of sandy. Lovely. Fox, watch out! Festival, have you painting a bus next time? Next, he has got the rest of us. Got to the rest of us. No, I don't. Big figures? No, they don't do anything for me. I'm safe on that one. I don't necessarily want to do massive figures, but these little, because these are kind of like 1/35th scale, so that's not so bad. You look at them, they're kind of like the heads, they're kind of super deformed 1/35th scale, really, when you think about it logically. Like, not necessarily realistic proportions, but the heads are kind of 1/35th scale. This knife, de-seamed. It's amazing. Since I got this seam removal tool, I actually remove seams now all the time. Because up until I got this, I never, unless it was an egregious seam on a tube, never really removed seams because I never really thought about it. Yeah, that's that done. That's not a knife. Has anyone watched the Altered Carbon series? No. I might be interested in that. When I was denubbing the Trigon, there were nubs between spikes that are 5mm apart and plenty of other places that the nub could have been. Yeah, said Kenneth. Some manufacturers are just really bad at where they put the sprue connection points. Sometimes it really does just make you go, why the hell did you do that? For the love of... Why did you put that nub there? Because sometimes it can be really frustrating. I was going to stab myself at on this because this is really hard to get to nub under his chin. Come on, don't stab myself. Yeah, stab avoided. Stab denied. Ill contested. Ill controlled. King of the hill. Yeah, I rock. No stabbing today. Okay, so you're going to have a seam. There's a complete noob finding this very informative. Thanks, says Julian Green. Hey, no problem. Feel free to ask any questions you want. That's what I'm here for. In reality, I kind of just hope that you guys ask questions and I can answer them, and that gives me something to talk about. So I feel absolutely free. Any questions you like. Doesn't have to be on a model maker. It could be about anything. About space or cars or food or balloons or pencils or not politics or religion, obs. We don't do politics and religion. Seam line. Right. Bit of a ziz on the top of his bonce to get rid of that little seam line. Let me know if I'm getting my head in shot and in the way, by the way, because I don't know where my head is. I mean, I know where my head is, obviously, in relation to what you guys can see. That. We have the head. Ja, das ist richtig. Is the seam removal tool sharp, says Chris the Pyro. No. It's just flat at the end. It's very thick, and it's rounded off at the end, and it's designed to be done at like 45 degrees. So you don't do it. You can do it flat, but ideally you get it at 45 degrees. So you use that edge as the, or that edge as the actual tool. It's more like a shaving tool, but it's not sharp. I mean, you could jam it in your hand if you wanted to, but no, it's not. My brother has tons of unpainted Series 1 Games Workshop figures that are unpainted, trying to get them off him. If they're the ones with the pointy noses, they could actually be worth quite a lot of money, especially if they're still boxed. They actually, those original Space Marines, I've got a really runny nose now. Those original Space Marines, I think last year at one point Games Workshop kind of re-released them for like a day. Oh, excuse me, I've got to blow my nose. They remade them for like a day or something. Sold them for one day. Like from the old Space Hulk game and those kind of figures. I think. So if they're the old pointy nose ones, then they could be worth quite a lot of money. Don't tell your brother that. Just tell him they're worthless and take them off him and then sell them, obviously. No. What model that does not exist, as far as you're aware, would you love to build, says Raging Bassist. I don't know. I mean, there's obviously been... Oh, there's been a time when I've thought, oh, I wish somebody made a model of X or Y. I think of one off the top of my head right now. I wish someone made plastic models of the ships in Destiny, the video game, the first Destiny game. I've got that kind of Mega Bloks Destiny ship, which is, let's just be honest, a bit pap, but it works, it's fine, I can play with it. I can take some of the nubs off, and I need to do that at some point. But it'd be nice if somebody made the ships from Destiny as actual plastic kits. Not, I know there's some resin ones out there. We don't do resin, so be nice. Oops. I think it'd be nice if someone did some of the ships from the Ragtag Fleet in Battlestar Galactica. And I know Mobius does some of them. Mobius did the Colonial one. I don't think, and there's a few resin ones out there. I've done a resin Colonial freighter, but overall there's not many. And I'll be honest, I was really eager to get that Colonial 1 kit until I actually got it, and then I'm like, oh, it actually looks not that great. And then, of course, most of the design on the... It's a beautiful ship. I love the Colonial 1. Most of the colourful design around the sides and the livery was decals, and then I remembered, oh yeah, hang on, Mobius don't really do very good decals. The decals are terrible. Ew. I think I gave it away as a prize in the end, if I remember rightly. I decided not to bother trying to build it. Because it would, and it's quite small as well. It's 1/350 scale, but it was quite small. I'm like, make a big plastic kit of the Colonial 1, like a real small scale one, 1/250 or 1/100 scale. It'd be like 3 feet long, but it would look fantastic. If you can get a 3 foot 1/72 U-boat kit, I'm pretty sure somebody could make a 1/100th scale Colonial 1. But you see, maybe there aren't that many people out there will buy it. That's why they don't make one. I'm complete. Let's have a look. Kenneth, yeah, says Joanna. The LD got a box of metal miniatures, mostly Terminators and Space Marines, not Eldar. Okay. They could be, yeah, they could be worth something if they're really old. Smooth says he'd like a 2013 Suzuki GSR 750, as that's the bike he rode. Raging Bass, he says, nice, I wanted to get a Triumph Rocket 3 kit build, just like my dad's, as a present, but it doesn't exist. I thought you didn't like Resin Fox, says Kenneth. For those that you don't know, if you didn't watch, when you finish this, if you haven't watched it, go and watch the mystery package that I did yesterday or the day before, because Kenneth absolutely brilliantly sent me a Halo Warthog kit. But what actually happened was, a couple of weeks ago, he said, "Hey, look, I've ordered a kit, but they're actually sending me 2. I ordered 2 by mistake. Can I send you one?" I'm like, "I'd like to send you one." I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Thank you very much." And then about 3 days later, he says to me, "Oh wait, hang on, I've just remembered you don't like resin kits, do you?" And I'm like, "Well, it's not, I don't like them. It's just I've never had a good experience." And I'm you know, trying to kind of politely, politically explain that I don't mind making resin kits, but I tend to avoid them if I can, just out of choice, because I've always struggled with them. But I, of course, don't want to say, "Please don't send me this kit," because that's a bit rude. After he's very graciously offered to send me something as a gift, I'm not gonna turn it down. So I felt a bit bad. I was like, "Oh, I feel really bad now," because Anyway, so he sends me this kit, and lo and behold, it's not a resin kit, and there was never a resin kit, and I'm like, "Oh, well played, Kenneth. Well played." I was most impressed, and the fact you sent me it in a Sinanju box, but there wasn't a Sinanju in the Sinanju box. And oh, by the way, Kenneth, I did try a Tim Tam Slam. My God, that's messy but fun. Yes, I learned how to do it. I know that you both bite both corners off, and then do it like a straw. And yes, I've done it, and it's brilliant. It was great fun. There are no Tim Tams left now. They've all gone. Let's have a look. What's the chat doing? John Bennett, a pin or needle in a pin vise? Hang on, what we're talking about. What do you find the most accurate tool for scribing when using template shapes? Never actually used them, but I'm gonna guess if it's something big, then a scribing tool, a specific scribing tool is probably the best bet. Knives are fine, but they tend to make a very rough, gougy cut, and you can get lots of crap on either side. A scribing tool tends to be a more uniform square or chamfered shape, so it gives you a neater line. If it's really small, I think somebody suggested a pin in a pin vise. There is also a device, I don't know who makes it, but Skipper Ted at Skipper Scale Models, he has one where it's actually it's a scribing tool, but the thing at the bottom, instead of being a blade or a point, is actually like a thing that can somehow rotate on a little joint, so you can do that. You can go around circles. I don't know what it's called, so next time we do a Treehouse podcast, or if you watch the E-Models stream on a Monday, ask Ted what that tool is. It's like a little, it's hard to explain, it's like you can do circles with it anyway, basically, and curves. I'd like to see Bandai do some 1/24 scale models for Blade Runner cars, specifically the spinner. Yeah, that'd be absolutely fantastic. That would be good. That would be awesome, actually. I'd like a new version of Death Side Hell from the Gundam Wing. Says Avon. Did your mum get a Tim Tam, says Kenneth. Yes, she had half of them. She was like, "Oh, I've eaten loads of them now." Oh, okay, thanks. Hey, Andy Butcher's in. Joanna says, "Kay, we'll ask Ted as well, thank you." No worries. I can't remember what it's called. It's like you can use it on like French curves, and I know what you mean. Right, we've got this guy cut up. Let's assemblate him, shall we? I need to plan now what this dude looks like, so I can figure out what I can paint and what I can't. So, what's he going to be doing with his arms? Where are his arms? Oh, I can put one arm in a bandage. Ooh. I don't know. I'll ask the chat. Chat, what do you think? Do you think arm at rest with the gun, or arm in a sling because he's injured? Tell me which one you think is better. Let me see if I can find the one in the sling. There somewhere. Yep, he's got his arm in a sling. Tell me which one you think. Arm with a rifle, holding a rifle, or with his arm in a sling because he's been sponged by an enemy bullet. Where's my clippers gone? There. I'll get it off the sprue anyway. Really wish they didn't put the nub right in the middle of the shoulder, the pauldron. That's kind of annoying. Bandage, think of the weathering, yep. Gun, says Phillies. That's one each. Foxx, master grade, high grade. What is what, master grade or high grade? Slings, that's 2 for the sling, 3 for the sling, There's Joanna Hammond. 3-1 so far. John Bennett says Fox master grade or high grade. What do you mean? Sling, that's another one. I think you're all saying sling, aren't you, basically? I'll denub it. I think we'll go with the sling. I'll denub it and see what the chat does in a minute. I can always use it on someone else. Yeah, they put the nub right in the middle of the pauldron. Struggle to get the nub off without making it not a pauldron shape. Which is quite annoying. But you can't have completely no challenges. You will have some challenge when you make a model. But not so much that you know, like when you make a resin kit. Pfft. Yeah, I actually can't get to this. Oh, what's the difference between master grade and... What was the question again? Hang on, I've lost the question now. Master grade or high grade? High grade are quite a simple build. They don't have an internal frame, more or less. And you will have some seam lines on the armour. With a master grade, it's a lot... Well, high grades are always also in 1/144th scale, so they're smaller. Master grades are typically 1/100 scale. They usually have a pretty intricate inner frame that you build up. And they tend to have less obvious seam lines. A lot of times seam lines are hidden in like panel lines in the armour. They're also bigger because they're 1/100th scale. It's a more challenging build, but I think with any Gundam, it's not really that challenging. The difference in terms of which one do you want to go for is that high grade, there's more high grade kits out there because they tend to... Master grade is kind of reserved for all the real popular mobile suits. It's a smaller range, but they're more sort of mainstream suits. The high grades, you get a lot of stuff in high grade just because it's not maybe as popular mobile suits, and some of the more obscure suits you'll get in high grade. And often you'll get a high grade version of something before you get a master grade as well. High grades tend to get more stickers. And you'll often get stickers instead of coloured parts. And you have to put the sticker over something to make it blue or green or whatever. Master grade, you don't get as many... You get stickers for markings, so you get a lot more markings, like, caution signs and wording and stuff. But you don't get as many actual coloured panel stickers that you do sometimes, but not as often. And you also tend to get, a lot of them, things like dry rub transfers. So you get a lot more detailed markings than you do in a high grade. High grade, you get maybe a little sheet of some coloured panels. Master grade, you get markings and text and warning signs and everything. And if it's a version car, you actually get water slides. Yay! Unless it's the master grade Unicorn Gundam, in which case you don't get water slides because of the reasons. Snap that now. Look at that. It's broken there. Look. Very delicate, that. It's not broken off, so that's the main thing. That go over his shoulder. Go on, like... Okay, well the slinger did snap, but it's not actually broken it, so it's not a problem. Now what I would have to do, sling on first, because it needs to go around the back of his neck, and I can't do that once his head is on. That's going to make painting interesting, but not impossible. So let's have a look on the chat. Gun, but then Scratch build him a pair of slingbacks. He's a strange boy. Oh, hey. Kenneth M, move your fingers when you're reading comments and not talking, Fox, so I know the stream hasn't frozen. La 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 la, I'm moving my hand, playing the piano. Naughty Step Fox. Somebody asked me a question, I can't not answer it. That doesn't count. Mitch says the real grade models seem to be very detailed, but tons of nubs. Yes, real grade are high grade size, but a step between master grade and perfect grade in complexity. So, and the frame is often pre-assembled. But yeah, they're tiny, tiny parts. John Bennett got the RXO Unicorn 1/100th red frame. Can't make up mind what colour to paint. It would be like to light up the clear red inner frame. I don't know. The Unicorn, I do like the mobile suit, but it confounds me because I don't feel right weathering it. Don't really know what other colour to paint it apart from white or the metallic one I did. Or gold, if you try to do the Fennecs. Right, so we has a backpack. What's this arm doing? This arm is the bandage arm. This arm is the one for the headset. Is that going to get in the way of painting the head? Will do. Tell you what we will do. We will glue the torso to the other bit of the torso. Upper torso to the lower torso. Do it on camera. Do it the right way around, yes. Something just went bang in my room and I don't know what it was. Should be nervous right now. Enough glue on there. You spoon! Glue dried out. Make sure it's all lined up nicely. Hey. His torso on. We'll stick his sling arm. Stick his sling backs on. Billy says, any plans for a new? Yes, I have got plans for a new. I don't know what it is yet. But there's definitely plans for a new. Sorry, I couldn't resist. That sling goes there, fits on the arm. Sling kind of fits over his shoulder, over his thing. Get some little extra thin and get it in there. Glue it on and see what happens. Oh! Oh, what happens is the torso comes off. Oh! Tragedy! Didn't have enough glue on the torso. Oh! Right, let's try that again, shall we? See? Even for me, things don't always go according to plan. Oops. Torso back on. And up. I actually forgot to do, of course, was run glue around the torso to glue it in place, as you do. So there we go. I'll give that a minute before I try putting the arm on again. Should we do a sticker giveaway? Shall I give away a sticker? Let's have a quick look at the chat and then we'll do a sticker. I'm going to be horribly filthy and dirty and light a cigarette because, as you all know, I'm a smoker. Don't smoke, kids. It's not cool. What we doing? Mitch says, Kenneth, yet, but at least they have an inner frame compared to the HGs. Group build for the Boom Hut, says Phil East. Oh, I see. Phil East says, any plans for a new group build for the Boom Hut? Yes, we are in the... well, words. I need to move my hand so Kenneth doesn't think we've crashed. Yes, we are having conversations about the 2018 Egg Mopelmacken competition. We haven't announced it yet, but we are thinking we should do another egg build competition. We need to figure out the details, so stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. It was such fun last time when people building their egg planes and egg boats. We figured we should do another one. And what we might do is this time we might do like egg builds, but we'll have a theme. So it can be whatever egg build. It could be an egg plane, an egg car, an egg tank, an egg boat. It could be an SD gumpler. Anything that's basically deformed from its normal shape counts in an egg build. So we'll do another one. We haven't announced it yet, and we're still working out the ins and outs. Weebadoodle says, I arrive. J'arrive. Welcome. Raging Bassist. Here's a question, Fox. Any good places you can recommend for garage kits? Generally, in terms of like places you can go to buy them, I really don't know. Generally, with lots of small run garage kits, they tend to have their own little website or Facebook account. It's probably better and easier to search around for the subject of the kit you want, see who makes it. A lot of them, I don't think in the UK, there's a lot of retailers in the UK that don't stock garage stuff. I know in the US it's probably a bit more prevalent. Your local model store might stock them. But over in the UK, Model shops in the UK, bricks and mortar stores, 95% of them, they sell remote control stuff and model trains and a bit of airfix. Model shops in the UK are crap. Majority of them. Small number are actually decent model shops. But yeah, garage kits, mostly online. Have a look for the subject you want to find and see if somebody makes a kit of it. It's probably your best bet. I got a unicorn, I would paint it turquoise, white and black, says the LD. Interesting. 42 says Traught and Charred. Oh yes, please, says Rusted Beetle. Kenneth M says orange. I haven't even asked the question yet. I haven't even thought of the question yet. Cheese and Onion says Traughton. As long as it's not a gross models one, says Smoo. No, it'll be a model making guru sticker when I get them. I really like the Orc egg plane that was built in the last group build. Kenneth. Smoo says Garage Kits UK have a Facebook page. There you go then. I did suspect there would be a dedicated sort of group that would do something like that, but I don't have a big need for buying garage kits, so I can't really say. But yes, Garage Kits UK. Cheers Fox, cheers Smoo, looking for a decent Jason Voorhees. I'm sure Chandra did. Didn't Chandra do a Jason? I'm sure Chandra did a Jason, converted it to a Jasonette. Have a word with put a thing in the boom hut. Chandra, I'm sure Chandra did a Jason Voorhees. Somebody did one. And it would be Chandra, I think, that would do that kind of thing. So, Joanna Hammond said, egg build. Yes, we had a competition last year, Joanna, where we challenged people to build an egg kit. Egg kits are things like either battleships, planes, or vehicles that are actually super deformed into silly, squishy shapes. They're also called chibi. Just go on Google, look up egg plane. There's a whole different. There's tanks, there's cars, there's boats, there's super deformed gunpla. There's loads of different things, and we had I can't remember exactly what the theme was last year. It escapes me now. But we gave away some trophies and prizes and stuff for the best one. So what we'll do is we'll announce it later in the year, probably the next couple of months. We'll announce it and see. We'll decide on a theme, and it's basically just to sort of build and paint an egg kit in the the desired theme, whatever the theme might be. And the focus last year wasn't on the quality of the work. We didn't, we weren't saying it's got to be a museum quality model to win. We wanted the silliest to design, the one that made us giggle the most and chuckle and go, yeah, I like that. That was what we looked at. So it was more about the content of the build and the story behind it than the actual quality of the build. Another egg contest, yes please, because I just got a Sherman Toon Tank. One of the things we've got to figure out is what we'd actually give away as prizes, because last year's competition we actually got those kits from Studio Rockavan, the guys that make the video game, the World of Tanks, the Toon Tanks video game. So they actually sent them to us. I don't know what we give away as prizes this year, so stay tuned. We've got to figure that bit out yet. Oh, I see, cartoon. Yeah, they're kind of silly and super deformed. Right, so I've got to think of a question now. Question. Okay, this is for a sticker. Now remember, I haven't got the stickers yet, so what I'll do is you'll need to send me an email, say that you won one, and I'll get one sent out to you. Earlier on, I told you I got these, the Citadel clippers. How much did I say I paid for them? Or how much are these clippers? You might have to Google it. How much are these clippers? Go. First answer I see in the chat. What I said, not what the not what the actual price is. What I said the price was. I gave a specific price. I said something. So yeah, because I can't remember what the exact Games Workshop price is. Bang, there we go. Raging Basis straight away. First comment, 20 quid. Done. There we go. Fantastic. I suddenly realised after I asked the question, hang on, they might not actually be 20 quid. They might be like 17.99. So, so Raging Basis, brilliant. Pop me an email with your address and details, and I'll get one. I'll get a sticker sent out to you when they turn up. That was fast. I've got to think of another one now. We'll do a few of these actually. I shall make a note of who wins, just in case, because I will forget. I need to find a piece of the paper. Piece of paper, come to me. Where are you? Right, paper. Can I? No, I can't show that on camera. Ugh, hang on. I've got a piece of paper. I'll put it on my phone. Right, here we go. Put it in my phone. So, send myself a text. So, okay, so we've got Raging Bassist 1-1. When you send me a mail, make sure you put your YouTube name in the email as well, so I know who's who. Because I'll have like Raging Bassist, this person, that. I won't have your actual name, so I won't actually know what your name is. I'll be like, "Hi, I'm Dave. I want the sticker." So yeah. Oh, my cards on the screen. That's bad. And my driver's license as well. Oh, wow, should do that. So you want a sticker? Let's do another question. Okay, let's think of another question. Think of a question. Kenneth said, "I thought you said they cost too much." They do. 20 quid. Think of a question. Think of a question. Think of a question. I can't think of a question, guys. Wow, I'm really stuck for a question. Okay, here's one for you. This pack of Astra Militarum Cadian troops. I'll give you the email address in a minute, Raging. How many are in this pack? Somebody asked me how many people are in this. How many people are in this pack? Go. How many dudes are in this kit? Bang, Kenneth, straight in 5. There you go, Kenneth. Fabulous. I'll be sending you a sticker. Drop me your address. Thank you very much, Kenneth. I've got one. There we go. Now I've got 130 of these things turning up, so I can do quite a few. Yay. I mean, I've got to think of another question though, isn't it? Oh, do another one. Do another one. Not easy thinking of a question now. I've got to account for the fact that not all of you watch this stream right from the start. Doodle-doo-doo. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. Raging Bassist, I'm staying out of this in order of fairness. Yeah. One now. I've got to try and remember what we just talked about for the last 2 hours. Jeff Longman says, "I love the latency to North America. Fox isn't even finished, and the question and chat is full of answers." Tell you what I'll do then. On the next one, I'll leave a pause between asking the question and saying go, so all of you can catch up. Raging Bassist says, "Why is the puffin called Odo?" That will be a question maybe too difficult. Even I don't know the answer. I just kind of made it up. Pulled it out my ass. Yeah, what I have to do when we do this kind of giveaways on the model stream as well, there's no other way to do it. There is always latency in different places, but we try and have to just go for. We tend to get the comments in the order they came in. So the first one is usually the first one we saw, anyway. So, but it's just a little silly sticker giveaway. I've got to think of another question now. Oh, I can't think of one now. I really can't think of a question. I'm stumped. Oh, okay, let me glue some bits together and we'll try and think of another question. Let's see what we're doing here. Right, so he's glued together. Let's get his arm on. We'll come up with another question in a minute. Oh, send your email to modelmakingguru@gmail.com. I'll put that in the... Yeah. Rusted Beetle says, "What's the last 4 digits on your credit card?" Yeah, I'm not going to put that's that question. Didn't you see when I showed it on screen by mistake? Yeah, send it to modelmakingguru@gmail.com, or you can just pop me a message on Facebook if you already follow me on Facebook, Model Making Guru, or however you want to contact me. Facebook's easier if you're not sure. It's just Model Making Guru, or you can go to modelmakingguru.com and you can contact me through the contact form on there. That's the other way you can get hold of me as well. So whichever way works best for you, just drop me a shout. Just give me your name, address, and your YouTube name so I know who you are. And do put that you won a sticker, because I don't remember what the hell you're mailing me for. Okay, so that's his arm on. That's going to make painting a challenge, but we'll get around it. Minute to dry. Jeff Longman says, back to the grind from me. Cheers all. Thanks for coming in, Jeff. Most kind. Hey, has Kenneth got that right? I don't even know if that's right, Kenneth. Checking my cards now. Moving on. Okay, think of a question. Think of a question. Raging Base says, cheers, Fox. Drop an email or something after the stream. Yep, no worries. Oh. Okay. Okay. What I'll do, when I ask this question, don't answer. He'll actually say go on. I'll leave a long pause between the question and the answer just so the stream can catch up a little bit. Now, do be honest and wait for me to say go. Okay, so when we started the stream, I had two kits. I had the Astra Militarum, the Cadian troops. What was the other set of figures? Go. Everybody's going, oh, crap, I can't remember. I've got to scrub back to the start of the video now. Oh! One of the packs was Cadian troops. What was the other one? Billy says Adeptus Custodes. No. Jonathan says damned if I can remember. Rusting Customs Space Marines. No. Kenneth M said Adeptus Mechanicum. No. Smooth Workshop Space Marines. No. I guess none of you will remember. I can always ask another question if no one remembers. Damn autocorrect, says Phil East. Dave Wiseman Gumbarker says, don't worry, Fox, you need money for people to take it. Yeah, there is that. How long have we been going now? Wow, one and 3/4 hours, and I've done an arm and a torso and a blower torso. Wow. I'm guessing nobody remembers then. Other speech marine, says Trot Chard. Autocorrect. Hello. I'll give it a few more seconds. I'm guessing nobody can remember. Space Marines Killer Squad? Nope. SpongeBob SquarePants? Nope. But that'd be awesome in heroic scale. I've broken you all, haven't I? AML 19? No. Adeptus Mechanicus? Nope. I think I may have challenged you too deeply there and broken you all. I'll give it a few more seconds. Fox needs a Smoo Industries anti-spill glue holder. This works alright. Scions, bang! Rusted Beetle says Scions. Yes, they were Militarum Tempestus Scions. Well done, Rusted Beetle. You have grabbed yourself a sticker of stickers. Drop me an email, modelmakingguru@gmail.com, or pop me a message on Facebook. Name, address, and your YouTube name. Curmudgeon gun-wielding guy, says Trot Chard. Yeah, and I'll get one sent out to you. So I hope to have them in the next few days. Chris is going to send them on to me. So there we go. Something just fell over. Cool. So that's 3 stickers going out. Fudge packing puffin overlords, says Smoo. Hey, bag fudge packing puffin overlords. What you trying to say, Smoo? What you trying to say? Right, so that's that on there. I shall apply his head to his body. Woot, says Rusted Beetle. This is where his head won't fit now because of the bandage thing. You watch. I bet it doesn't. Arse. It just about fits under his sling. Just about. Just about. By the wee man's head. turn his head a little bit so it actually fits on, but fine. You don't want everybody looking ahead forward all the time. That's really boring. I'm going to have a bright bugger of a time getting to the quiller on his chest. That's going to be interesting. Challenge my fine detail painting skills. But if I tried to glue the arm on later, it would have just made a mess of the paint job, so there's no point me even trying. Live with it as it is. Head on, we'll give that a moment. Give it a moment. Ooh. We'll just let him lie down, I think. You ever lie down for a bit? Lol, I gave the full name, says Joanna. Yeah, well done. Did you scrub back to the start of the video? No, we go off I'll go off the first answer that comes up in the chat. So, is it mean to smile when you watch a moth fly into a fan? It's an instinctive response, I think. I don't mind. I like moths. I hate crane flies or daddy long legs. Can't be doing. What else? Puffin Overlord or Pug Queen? Yes, all of the above. So that's coming on nicely. Might leave his backpack off so I can get to the back of his head. Yeah, if I put the backpack on there, no way I'm getting to the back of his head. Just not happening. What I shall do... Why are the 2 holes for his backpack? Not. So I shall leave that off. So I can paint that separately, and then when it's all done, I can paint the back of his head. Then I can glue that on there. See, there's lovely. On you, see? And then I can access that. This arm. Got to go to... It's supposed to go to his head, but it seems to go to his, like, the visor that doesn't actually exist on his helmet. Not to worry. We'll leave that arm off as well, because there's no way I can paint that while it's in place, because I won't be able to get to the side of his head. What we can do is stick some accessories on him. Feel free to float any questions my way. Ooh. There goes an email coming for stickers. Can you imagine Foxx as a Puffin Overlord version of Michael Flatley in a stage full of Puffins river dancing? Isn't that kind of like a scene from Batman 2, whatever the second Batman film was, the second Michael Keaton one? Penguin? Or something? I feel there's a scene like that. Right, so now we need to apply some weaponage to his rear end. But, again, I have to plan, because if the backpack goes there, I can't then jam a knife underneath that. How are they going to... Okay, so carefully plan where the knife and that goes. So I think gun can go here on the side. There's lovely. That. And we'll put it there. Attach it to his side, floating miraculously in mid-air. Then we'll find out his arm gets in the way of his arm or something. Oh no, his arm still fits. That's cool. I think. You see why it takes me a long time to make things? Because even if you guys weren't here, I'd still be like doing all this careful stuff, and it'd take me forever to make this damn thing. The people that can like build and paint a squad of dudes in like a weekend, it's not gonna happen, is it? Actually, it's gonna happen. Get the knife on this side. Oops. I have to actually stick that too. Again. Ding, another email comes in. Thank you very much. Knife like that. Good. And jaunty angle. So it's jammed under his arm, which probably won't do me any favours when it comes to painting. Just make sure the backpack still fits on. Yeah. Wow, that backpack's as big as his torso. That's a hell of a backpack. Cool. So he's got his knife on that side, his gun on that side, poorly arm, and his head's on. So we just need to leave the backpack off. So we have a dude has been done. There's the centre. I was over here, wasn't I? Sorry. We have a dude who has been done. If I can zoom in on the camera. Give me a second. I'll see if I can zoom in on the camera. Controls. Puffing in the way. I can't see the screen. Controls. Let's zoom in. Probably I can't. Zoom in. Zoom in and see what happens. Wow, is that all I can zoom in? Wow, that was rubbish, wasn't it? And the quality disappears. So we have a dude, we have a backpack, we have an arm. Cool, good choice on the poorly arm there, guys and girls. Good choice that. I'll leave the camera there. The quality's dropped, but I'll leave the camera there. Let's have a look. What are the questions doing? Kenneth M. It was an Australian moth. It broke one of the 4 blades off the fan when it flew in and got hit. Yeah. You can't feel sorry for somebody that will actually just kill your fan and survive. Fox will be at Telford, says Reese. Yeah, as far as I know. I've made the terrible mistake of not booking any hotel rooms because I'm an idiot. So there's no chance of me getting a hotel room now and being there all weekend. So hopefully this year I'll go up on the Sunday. I was going to go on the Sunday this year, last year, but other stuff came up and I couldn't make it. Dave Barker says, Fox, I got brave and started doing shiny cars. Do you think you will ever try one? No. No. Never. I've tried doing shiny things before. I suck at it. It's stressful. For me, personally, I suck at them. They're stressful. And I'll be really blatantly honest, as I blow my nose, I haven't got the skills to do that kind of model. Because, you know, I'm not the kind of person that can paint something and it all comes out perfect. I tend to paint something and then I spend a day cleaning up all the goofs and bad paint bits that I've done. And I don't necessarily film it, but there'll be lots of going back and touching things up. And it'll oftentimes, the way I work, I'll paint something a bit slapdash because I know that when I do weathering later on, it will blend everything together. So if I paint round an edge, let's say this was part of a model, I was painting this bit one colour and this bit another, I wouldn't be so careful painting around here because I know that when I do a wash, it will fill that in and it will blend it all together. You can't do that on a shiny car. You've got to be precise, and I just find it stressful. Can't. Personally, for me, I mean, I'd take my hat off to anyone that can do shiny cars and shiny motorbikes. It's a skill I haven't got. But other than that, they just don't interest me. Models of cars just don't float my boat. They're there for me that I want to particularly make. So, I mean, I'll never say never, but I don't see myself doing one. But I've seen your shiny cars, Dave. I've seen the picture you put up, Dave. I think you posted some up, haven't you? They look pretty darn good. Batman Returns, says Rusty Beetle. Yeah, it wasn't as good as the first Batman film. With the best on-screen Catwoman, I'll give you that. The rest of the film was a bit pants. What glue will you use to stick a backpack once painted? You got a couple of choices. There are crazy fools who use super glue. I don't use super glue once a model is painted because if you're not careful, you'll get fogging and misty super glue sort of residue everywhere and it'll fog up your paint and look terrible. So I'll either use very careful application of regular Tamiya cement, which is thick, and I can apply a tiny amount to the contact point, tiny amount in there, and just go blop, and it'll go on. It won't fog the paint up. Or if I want to be really, really careful, I can just use white PVA glue, water-based, you know, PVA, craft glue, Elmer's glue, whatever you want to call it. That dries clear and transparent and doesn't fog up anything. What you use for like clear parts and canopies and stuff. I'll probably be fine. Whenever I've glued arms and things on guys before, I just use the thick Tamiya glue. I don't use the thin stuff because it might run down and damage your paint. But this stuff, you just put a tiny dot of it where it needs to go. It won't run down. Just blip it back in. There you go. It's stuck. It's a welding cement the same as this. It's just thicker. And that's how I do it. If I was gluing this guy into something, I might use PVA. But for his backpack and his arm, I'll just use the thick stuff. You can't hide anything with a shiny car, says Kenneth M. That's why I have the utmost respect for people that do things like cars and bikes and clean models. I do respect people that do that kind of thing, because I can't do it. The one thing I'm more than happy to admit about weathering is, weathering, and I always say it, weathering hides a multitude of sins. You know, I love the fact that I can cover things up with weathering. It's why I don't get too particularly fussed if I make a bit of a botch of an edge, because I know the weathering will tie everything together and hide things. Paint chipping is your friend. Oh, that's not painted very well. Just put some chips on it. There you go. New clean things would not interest me, says Joanna Hammond. And that's me. They don't float my boat. I started with cars. Sci-fi was so much more fun for me with all the weathering, says Phil East. Weebadoodle says, my uncle had a Harley and he spent hours polishing it and dare not take it out in the rain. I can't imagine actually painting a shiny thing. Yeah. It was basically a garage queen, wasn't it? An old Scottish saying, Fox, sell your canny and buy a banani. I can't remember what canny is, but I know what a banani is. Sell your canny and buy a banani. That was a terrible accent. Hey, sell your... Wow, I did a really bad Scottish accent. My dad will be spinning violently in his grave right now. Harley riders ride for an hour and spend 7 polishing and picking the parts up that fall off, says Smoo. I should try weathering myself, says Weebadoodles. You don't want to weather yourself. Just don't have a shower or bath for about a week and you'll be pretty weathered. Trust me on that one. Difference is there'll obviously be smells. You don't get smells with a model. You get smells with a person. Broughton Charles says, I had a shiny thing once but got distracted by another shiny thing and forgot where the first shiny thing was. Yeah. Hide every sin, says Weebadoodles. Kenneth M, I found that building figures are similar to shiny cars. Oh, of course, yeah, canny cannot. Sell your canny and buy a banani. Okay, now, yeah, I know what canny means. Kenneth, yeah, I found that building figures is similar to shiny cars. I actually found the way I approach them is I just kind of paint them the same way I'd paint a vehicle or an object. Because I had a great fear of painting figures for a long time. And then I just thought, hang on, it's painting a dude in clothing is no different to painting a vehicle or an object or a crate or a gun or something. It's just colours. So I basically just use exactly the same techniques. The trick for me, the thing I struggle with is the face and the skin texture. So that's what I need to keep practicing. But in terms of clothes, it's just, I'm happy to do, like, you know, base colour, a shade layer, a wash or an ink, and more highlights and edge highlights and things like that. And it works to treat it exactly the same. Try not to think about it. Depends on the figure, obviously. If it's like a, you know, like you've done your Predator, or a Caradron Overlord or something where they've all got the shiny bits and stuff, maybe not, but like a dude in fatigues. Treat it like anything else. Fox, not as bad as Smooth's attempt at a London accent. Ooh, mate. I've not heard Smooth's London accent. Mine's also terrible. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Core Blimey Tumblers, says Smooth. Core Blimey Tumblers. I don't think tumblers is actually rhyming slang. Have a banana. Chris the Pyro says, no one is going to notice you accidentally use the wrong colour when it's so rusty you can't tell what colour it is. Exactly. Weathering is your friend. Kenneth says, I meant large figures like the girl I'm building. Oh, yeah, in that case, yeah. If you're building like an anime pin-up style figure or something like that, yeah, I can see how that is like shiny cars because you've got to be precise and, yeah. In that case, I agree with you. For little figures like this, yeah, but for things like that, like show-off, grand, big busts and figures and things like that, like little statuettes, yeah, that is a... I can agree with you on that in that case. Joanna Hammond, that's an interesting question. What do you think is more important, creativity or accuracy or both or neither? Yes. Crap answer. It's an interesting one because you know from the Boom Hut that we in the Boom Hut we don't like rivet counters. Now it's not that we don't like rivet counters per se. You know, I have no problem with someone who wants to make something an accurate reproduction of something in real life. That's absolutely fine and completely honourable. When we say in the Boom Hut we don't like rivet count, we mean we don't like people that come in and judge other people's work by their rivet counting standards. There's nothing wrong with building something to be as accurate as possible to the real world thing. There's also nothing wrong with making something just look cool and being maybe not that accurate. You know, I'm building this thing. a Panhard AMR 90, it's going to have... It's got a machine gun with a spotlight the size of Delaware on the front. It's going to have the 90mm cannon replaced with that, a twin-link autocannon. I mean, rivet counters would be just like having kittens about that. But, you know, that's their prerogative. There's nothing wrong with being a rivet counter, just don't expect everybody else to be a rivet counter. That's what we say. Anyway, I'm going off the question. The question was, what's best? There's no right and wrong. At the end of the day, the best way to approach, this is my opinion, the best way to approach a build is, are you happy with it? Have you enjoyed it? Do you like to look at it? Is it pleasing to you? Are you proud of the work you've done? That's all that matters. If somebody else comes along and says, well, that's not very good, or it's not very accurate, or this and that, it's their opinion. An opinion can never be wrong, but it's not a fact. And everybody looks at opinions through their own different filters. My kind of approach is, if you look at my stuff close up, it's not the best paint job in the world. I'd never say that I'm a great painter. That's why I love weathering, because it covers up a multitude of sins. I'm not the neatest painter in the world, but I kind of take a sort of impressionist approach to painting. I don't try and get everything looking super, super realistic. I don't try and get everything looking super, super precise. Like an impressionist painting, I want to give the impression of something. I want to suggest that's what it is. And if it means here and there, it's a bit low res, it's a bit, you know, fuzzy on the details, I'm fine with that, because it's the overall effect I'm trying to go for. It's a bit like saying, it's comparing, like playing a video game. Like, you know, okay, you can play it now on my Xbox at, you know, 4K with HDR lighting and colour, and it's got crisp detail. Everything's really, like, the model on the screen is beautifully rendered and it's got every little detail. Or you could look at something that was in a game 10 years ago that's got less polygons, it's a bit fuzzy around the edges, it's not got every single detail, a few bits are just like, you know, in the image files, but it can still look good, because that's more of an impressionist thing. So I don't think there's anything wrong with any approach, as long as it's the approach you want to do and you're happy with it and you like the end result. I think find your own way is the best way to go. Always look at other people's work for inspiration and for stealing of ideas. Don't be ashamed to do that. And for thinking of things that you may never have thought of. But don't compare yourself to others, because that's the worst thing you can do. You'll just sit there and go, oh my god, I'm not as good as that thing over there, whatever that might be. Every artist of any kind will always think their work is terrible compared to everybody else, but that's what every artist thinks about their own work, while everybody else is looking at their work going, that's brilliant. And they're like, yeah, well, it's alright. So I don't think there's a right and wrong. It's a difficult question. I just don't agree with one person saying you should do a model this way because this is the way I do it and that's the right way to do it. I don't care for that at all. And that's why we don't encourage it in the Boom Hut. If somebody wants to be the accuracy to be their main focus, then that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But don't expect everybody else to do that. And you often find that people who don't really fuss about accuracy too much don't tend to be particularly critical of other people's builds. Whereas people who do go for accuracy, not all of them are like this, but the more times than not, when you get somebody in a group or in a conversation that doesn't know how to constructively offer constructive criticism or support whilst educating or anything like that, they tend to be the kind of person that values accuracy over anything else. So you have to temper, when you do that, you have to temper what you say with the fact that not everybody thinks the same way. So either way is good. That's a really long answer and I kind of went in circles. I have to weather a PG Millennium Falcon for one of my Gunpla buddies. He always does a clean build, but you can't have a clean Millennium Falcon. No, it's illegal to do a clean Millennium Falcon. People will come round and steal your food and furniture and stuff. Vesta says PMSL. I can't remember what I said that was funny. Trot Char says, oh, Gazer, I'm from London, innit? Apples and pears, apples and pears. Yeah, it's alright then, innit? Colin's probably laughing at all of us. Oh, my diamond geezer, diamond geezer. There you go. What? Just say, what? And it kind of gets you in there. I've made the joke before that my brother sounds like me and my sister-in-law is from Hull. So you can imagine the Hull accent. Yet my nephews are born and raised around Essex. So the first time I ever heard one of my nephews speak, he said, Daddy, can I have a knife? Eating his dinner. He's like, Daddy, I need a knife. I'm like, what the hell was that? Where did that come from? Because I'm used to a Hull accent and a Cheshire accent, so it's like, that's an Essex accent. Where did that come from? Most amusing. The old D was watching Adam Savage paint a flesh. He started off with a green base. Yeah, it's weird. I've seen that. It's kind of weird, but it works. But skin is a kind of translucent colour. If you look at people that make 3D models, CGI models, they know that skin is some sort of translucent and it reflects lots of different colours. So, Weebadoodle says, also, if you're going to rip from someone, please directly credit them. Well, yeah, if you, let's have a look. Can't remember what that was in reference to. When I was saying about steal ideas, I just mean like if I see someone make a cool model and they use a technique I like or something, it's like, oh, I never thought of doing that. I'll just do that. If it's like they paint a model in a particular way and then I completely copy that. Say, so I see someone paint a neon green Zaku with red stripes and fluffy velour all over it, and then I do the same thing. Yeah, I'm going to credit them and say I've seen such and such do that, and I'm going to do it now. If it's just like a technique or something, it's fine. Thank you, I've gone down the creativity route, says Joanna. It's my version using my imagination. 100% is absolutely a brilliant answer. Just have fun. At the end of the day, this is boys and girls painting little army men and little plastic people and little plastic vehicles. There's nothing serious about this hobby at all. So I always kind of giggle at people that take it so seriously. It's like, oh, it's a serious. No, it's not serious. In my case, I'm a middle-aged bloke painting tiny army men. There's nothing serious about that. It's all about having fun and having a bit of silliness. Yeah, so going in the serious route is just, no point. Comparing yourself to others is bad no matter what you do, says Raging Bassist. I don't have... start again. Comparing yourself to others is bad no matter what you do. I've done it myself as a musician. Just try to be better than you were yesterday. Yeah. Take inspiration from others, but don't treat them as goals, and don't expect that you'll be as good as that person without putting in the same amount of practice and effort. It's a learning curve, but don't beat yourself up because you're not as good as that person. Now, if I write a piece of music now, I might sit here and say, well, I wrote this piece of music, but it's not as good as something written by, I don't know, Paul Mottram or Jeremy, whatever, the guy that does the Doctor Who soundtrack. So yeah, I write something music now. It's not as good as John Williams. Well, John Williams has been in it for like 60 years and there's decades of experience. I haven't, so it's kind of pointless. In my mind, my Star Destroyer is 100 years post its lifespan. It's been found and recommissioned. It's been bashed around, maintained, etc. Perfect. There's your backstory. Trotton Child, was your D'Agostini Falcon clean after 6 episodes, Fox? Just asking, you know, for education reasons. I never got to the weathering stage. Apart from the interior. I weathered that, you know, the cockpit. Chris the Pyro. If I had to paint a kit, I'd love to paint a high mobility Zaku blue, but I'm too lazy and I mess it up. Well, best thing is, do it. This is the simple answer. Especially if you get like a little HG kit. It's only, what, 10, 15 quid? Do it. Try it. Have fun with it. You might make an arse of it and be like, okay, well, it's only an HG kit. It's not biggie, but I've learned some things making a mess of it. Or you might do it really well and be like, oh, it's brilliant. Now I can do it on a master grade. Perfect grade. Do it. The thing I've learned is that if you're creative like us, then you tend to overthink things all the time, and it can be a roadblock to actually finishing something. I do it all the time. Even for simple steps like paint chipping, I can start overanalyzing it and overthinking it, and it can take me days to get around to doing it. You just have to learn to go, stop, get the paint, get the brush, do it. It might work, it might not. As long as you accept that when you do models, sometimes they'll come out brilliant, sometimes they'll come out like complete gash. But there's no consequences. You're not going to suddenly lose your house or your mortgage. You're not going to be out on the street living under the arches or starve to death or get a disease. It just means, okay, that didn't really work. Well, I know what I did wrong and I can try it better on the next one. There you go. Unless it's like a perfect grade Falcon that you mess up, in which case you've got some sadness because you spent 300 quid. Yeah. Right, Fox, heading off. It's food times. Yes, I shall be ending soon anyway. Thanks for coming in, Smoo. I shall be ending soon anyways. If you haven't mailed me yet, do send me an email, modelmakingguru@gmail.com. I nearly said Ted at eModels then. modelmakingguru@gmail.com for your sticker, the chaps that won the sticker. If I forget to write down who the last one was. I may have forgotten to write down. Yeah, I wrote 2 people down, so I know 2 of you. I'll take the rest on trust. Don't worry about it. Earl D, don't forget to send me if you haven't done it already. I think you did. You mailed me anyway, so I've got your email for your address. I'll send you a mug. I'll include a sticker for you, so I'll wait till my stickers turn up and I'll find a little box to put this in. And Sergeant Bones, if you're watching, I'll get you a sticker, one of my stickers in with Chris's sticker as well. I'll send that to you. But I think that's going to do us. I've done that. Look at that. How long are we on now? We've been on for 2 hours, 10 minutes. That's got to be a record. I've put together one guy. One dude. That's pathetic. I don't do these with the expectation of getting lots of work done. I watch these Twitch live streams of people that paint miniatures, and they kind of just paint the miniature and occasionally say something to people watching. You guys come here to watch me. I'm going to interact with you. You're doing me a favour by coming and watching. You're being really nice and spending time with me. I'm going to spend time with you. I'm not going to ignore you. You're not going to come around to my house and I'm going to sit there reading the paper and just like ignore you. You know what I mean? So I don't get much done, but you watch me flip it open and break it and do things wrong and snap things. I didn't stab myself. Look, no injuries. I'm just going to tactical. There you go. Safe. Nothing. See? No stabbage. Yes, anyway, I think that'll do us. There was me saying I might start the Tempestus Scions if I get time. I've done one dude. One dude. Sun's coming up, says Kenneth. Oh. And it's summertime where you are as well, which makes it even worse. We shall leave on this comment, which says from Kurt Fluglorn, if you look at it when it's done and you think that's cool, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. I can't think of a more accurate statement to make. Exactly. Doesn't matter. You only do it. Do this for yourself. If you're not happy with it, work on it some more. If you're happy with it, put it in the cabinet. Done. Doesn't matter what other people think. There'll always be someone that thinks your work is crap. There'll always be someone that thinks your work is brilliant. I've got to the point where it doesn't matter to me. I don't pay too much attention. I just think, what do I think? Is it good enough for me? Done. Then it goes in the cabinet. Not good enough? I might come back to it later. Or I might say in a video, there's things I want to change on it, but I'll do it later. All that matters. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Good words from Kurt Flugelhorn. Kurt Flugelhorn? Das ist richtig. Well, that's going to do us. I think I'll call it quits because I need to go for a great big wee anyway. And I doubt I'll get any more work. One dude. Bob, the injured space marine. Yeah, he's not a space marine. Anyway, that's going to do us. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and spending a couple of hours with me while I talk nonsense. I'll get those stickers sent out. I don't know how we're going to give those stickers away traditionally because we don't often get to do Boom Hut Treehouse Hangouts, but we'll do them on Hangouts and stuff. And I'll do more of these as I get more bits to stick together. But thank you so much for watching. Do take care of yourselves. If you're not a member of the Boom Hut already, it's modelmakingguru. No, it's not. It's facebook.com/groups/model Boom Hut. A lot of the guys in chat are actually from the Boom Hut. Boom Hut is full of awesome people. Come and join it. Dead friendly. No snarking, no bitchiness. We don't encourage rivet counting, as I said. You'll make a lot of new friends. It's a great family. There's almost 3,500 of them. Brilliant. They're all wonderful people. And don't forget, as always, if you don't already, you are more than welcome to offer some support to this channel on Patreon. Patreon.com/modelmakingguru. I depend on my patrons 100% for my income. So I love them dearly. I love all my followers. But I love my patrons a bit more. But thank you so much for watching. Do take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, I'm dragging this out because I've got to try and find the button. Until next time, I can't. There's a puff in it. Look, just wait there. Just stand there. You're in the way of all the buttons. Until next time. Adios, amoebas. Can't find. There's the button. There's the button. 3, 2.